What's going on, guys? Wanted to go ahead and do a Miniplane Paramotor review on this thing. Never done one, and I've had 100 hours of flying on it so far, so I think it's about time to go ahead and give it a good review. I don't see a whole lot of reviews on the Miniplane Paramotor on YouTube, so figured why not. Anyways, I'm just going to discuss the harness, the frame and cage, and also the top 80 engine. Which has been a really good engine since I've had it. So anyways, stay tuned and give you guys a full rundown. Alright, so I guess the first thing I'm going to start with is the harness. The thing I like about the Miniplane harness is simplicity of it's pretty good. It's really simple. You know, attaches like most universal harnesses, I guess. That goes on there, kind of slides, and that bolt's there, and it's got two, one here and one here, but it's this little Allen head bolt that goes through, and I think that's where most of the weight's held whenever you're in flight. I do kind of wish it had a little bit more padding. All it has is just this thing of foam in the back, which, I mean, you're sitting down, you don't need a whole lot, but you know, a little bit more padding, especially in the shoulders here. There's just like barely anything in the shoulders, but overall it's a harness, you know, gives you a place to sit when you're flying, serves its purpose. I've got the Sup Air, I think these are aluminum carabiners. Ordered those aftermarket. Got my temperature gauge, my cylinder head temperature gauge, and I think it just shows my temperature and my max temperature, which max on the last flight was, it said 207, which that's not right. It's got these little pockets. Wish I had a little bit bigger pockets on the sides because you can't put a whole lot, but I carry this mirror that I bought from the auto parts store for like $2. So that way when I'm flying I can just reach it out, pull it, and see how much fuel's in my tank, because without it, it is pretty much impossible to reach your head around and look at the gas tank to see how much fuel you have left. But anyways, harness is pretty good, you know. Like I said, serves its purpose. You got your leg hooks here, got your one that goes across your middle upper body, and you got your chest strap here, which keeps these two close together. I've taken off once before with this thing loose, and as I pull the wing up, these things, one literally separated like this, and the whole freaking thing almost came off my shoulders. So learned my lesson real quick with that one. But anyways, harness is alright. Haven't really experienced any problems with it. These here just are riveted in, as you can see, and you got another little cargo pocket over here, but like I said, it can fit like a couple fingers in there, and that's it. So I wish that was more. It's got the wooden seat board underneath, and it does have storage under here. You know, I usually put my stuff sack under there when I go flying. So other than that, harness is alright. Looks good. Alright, next topic we're going to talk about is the frame and cage. It's been okay, but if I want to take this thing apart and put it in the, you know, vehicle to protect it from rain or something, if I'm, you know, going out of state or if I'm going on vacation, I want to take it with me. It's a real pain in the butt to take apart. I actually really dread doing it, and actually I don't even do it anymore. I've learned ways to protect the engine and harness from getting wet, and I just throw the freaking thing on a cargo rack, and basically I put plastic bags over the engine, and then I put a trash bag over the whole entire thing, and I use I think it's like a 30 or 40 gallon trash bag, and I put it over the harness. I literally flip this up, slip it over the whole thing, and last time I did it, it worked really good. I didn't get a drop of rain on anything, and it downpoured on the trip. So that's what I'm going to do from now on, instead of taking it apart, because really taking this apart is a real pain in the butt. definitely didn't make it easy. It's got, per half of the cage is 2 fiberglass like temp pole type rods that click together, and then you bend it and it bends all the way into this tube down here, the frame tube. And as you can see, let me wrap around here, these things go on here just to kind of keep the sleeving or sheathing or whatever it is tight. And then you got this wicked freaking, I don't even think I've got it right. I've got it kind of rigged up right now, but I've just got it wrapped around so it's tight. I know Jeff Gillen put a video out there, like Miniplane cage demystified video or something, just to help people out there, and I think he's right, but I just kind of made it tight. Whatever, it works, I guess. And to be safe, I put a couple, this all clips on this little hook right here, but to be safe I put a couple zip ties just to make sure none of that comes out. Okay, so the cage, yeah, it's real hard to take apart. As long as you're not taking it apart, it's protecting your paraglider lines from going in the prop, basically. Other than that, I mean, the netting seems to be pretty good. This is a brand new netting. Well, it was new at one point, but when I put it on, I pulled the starter to start it up to go flying, and I got major kickback, and it ripped out of my hand and went like boom straight through my netting and freaking broke it. Very first pull after I got the new netting, so that repaired, little line repair has been on there since day one with the new netting. But yeah, like I said, it all disassembles, and all the sheathing and netting is all, you know, one piece, so it can get tangled up if you're not careful. And then it's got these little clips here. They just kind of like pop out so you can take these top sticks off. But really, if you're disassembling it, it's a pain in the butt, because I've got all this wiring and stuff ran up here, and they say to use electrical tape here to prevent these side sticks from wiggling loose. Because I guess apparently if you don't put this electrical tape on, these are threaded into the frame, these little side sticks, so apparently they can work themselves loose if not. I know the one dude that put a Miniplane review not too long ago, he mentioned something about the paint on the frame, and he's kind of right. Paint's really scratched off on this thing, I mean all over the place. I'm not too worried about it, because you know, it's kind of like a dirt bike, you know, it's going to get a little bit beat up here and there, but you know, I expect some paint to get removed, scratched or whatever, but definitely probably not the highest quality paint job, but I mean, most of the paint's on still. It's just got some scuffs here and there, but not too bad. The J-bars here, originally I bought this as the weight shift. As you can see right here, I have my weight shift arms, and I decided I don't like feeling every single little bump in the air, because with the Miniplane, I don't know if that's how it is with other paramotors, but if you feel a bump with the Miniplane weight shift system, like literally the whole seat board is going like this under your legs, and I was like, I don't really like this. I don't like feeling every single little bump, so decided to get the PSF system, as Miniplane calls it, and I like it. Works good. It's pretty simple. Unfortunately, I had to buy a whole new harness for it. So this is the PSF harness, the J-bars, and the J-bars right here, as you can see, rivet into the harness there. These little clips here, these little clips right here, pull out, and you can pull the J-bar out if you want to transport it or whatever. But other than that, oh, one thing I didn't like that I had to do whenever I got this J-bar system, or you know, non-weight shift system, was I had to stick the J-bar in here, line it up, and I had to drill a hole through the frame, through the J-bar, and make it as perfectly straight as possible. And you can see, if I pull this out, I didn't do the best of job. This side's not as bad, but the other side is like, the hole is way hollowed out. But I mean, I got it to where it'll work. Yeah, that's the frame. I mean, unfortunately, from my crappy Maybe you can see on this one. Oh yeah, look at that. See how horrible of a job I did on that drilling? Freaking looks like crap. But anyways, so now since I have such good craftsmanship, I got all this slack in my J-bar that goes left to right. Makes my seat a little uneven, but whatever. Still fly the thing. I wish I wouldn't have had to drill those holes since I made this weight shift or PSF optionable. Optionable, is that even a word? Probably not. But I wish they would have had that hole pre-drilled so I could have just easily stuck these bars in there and put that in. It would have been perfect, but oh well. So the cage, yeah, it's not really that easy to take apart, but you know, as long as you don't plan on taking it apart and putting it inside your vehicle and all that stuff, then it should be just fine. Alright, so next thing I'm going to discuss is the engine on this Miniplane Paramotor. This is the top 80 engine. It's been around since like 1980, I think, but it's been freaking awesome since I've had it. Like, super reliable. I've put roughly 95 hours on this since I bought it used from my buddy. Shout out to Evan Purdy. Thanks for the good sale, man. Appreciate it. Anyways, bought it with about 73 hours. And as you can see, I've got 169.6 on it now. And I'm proud to say I've never had an engine out. I've had one or two problems where I was going to go flying and it didn't start. But that was simply because of fuel line related issues. Replaced fuel line and everything was fine. So this engine's been awesome. Like, I totally trust this thing, like, with my life. That was a stupid saying. Why did I even say that? Super reliable. Always runs nice and cool. Never had it overheated. At about 100 hours, I did a top-end rebuild on it. I started noticing really low power, like to the point where I couldn't even get off the ground. It was strange, though. It was really strange. I was revving up to, you know, my normal 900 RPMs or 98, whatever it is, but I didn't feel the power. I don't know if my little RPM sensor wire here was messed up or giving me false readings or what, but I knew this thing was not producing the power that it should be, because I could lean straight back and I was literally pushing the motor back and, you know, against the full power, and I was overpowering it without any hesitation. So I definitely knew something was up. So went ahead, did the top end rebuild, ordered the parts from MiniplaneUSA.com. Shout out to Chad Bastian. The dude's awesome as far as Miniplane parts. He sends them super quick. He offers, for most of his parts, is free 2-day shipping. Like, say I order it Monday, it'll be here Wednesday or Thursday, no problem, if it qualifies for that free 2-day shipping. For larger parts, you might have to pay a little bit more. You might have to pay for shipping, but he's always taking care of me as far as getting parts here quick and stuff. So shout out to him out in California. But anyways, engine's awesome, love it. I do have a couple little things with this engine that I'm not too crazy about. So this reed valve assembly right here, this thing that you see I've put epoxy all over, it's given me, I think, problems since I've had this thing, since I bought it used. Basically, you got this plastic block, or it's made out of composite or something, I don't know, but it needs to be like metal or something a little bit stronger, in my opinion, not plastic, because you got your metal or aluminum carburetor, and you got this plastic piece or composite, then you got your casing. So you would think that would be aluminum or something along those lines, but anyways, it's cracked inside. The reeds go into here and the pedals are in there, but this housing here has cracked over time and has caused the mixture to lean out, sucking in more air. That has given me problems a couple times. Before, the first time I noticed it, my engine was running really high RPMs, just idling. So I came back here and I saw like a little bit of a gap here, so I stuck my finger over it, and then all of a sudden the engine just kind of like bogged down. I was like, oh great, leaking air here. So before I had RTV sealing all over it, and that lasted for a while, but then it started peeling off. So I went up to the hobby store and bought some of this 5-minute epoxy stuff that you mix together. And I took a brush and I brushed it all over. It seems to be doing okay. It's making some weird colors underneath this epoxy, kind of like it's getting hot or something, but it seems to be holding up alright. Engine's running cool still and everything. This cover right here, if you ever want to take it off, it's a real pain in the butt, because right here at the exhaust, it had 2 little ends that stuck out here, and it would catch. If you wanted to pull this whole cover straight up, these would catch, so it was a real pain in the butt to wiggle off there. So kind of just clip them off there, as you can see, and now I can just literally pull this thing straight up, no problem. Another problem I've had is this guy right here, this boot. This is the second aftermarket boot I've had on here. The original Miniplane boot is good, but what's happened is, since I've owned this thing, I put, which I shouldn't have done, but I used to put safety wire around it, because it had little like grooves that you could put, safety wire or zip ties or something. And my stupid self, I was using safety wire, and eventually it started cutting into the rubber on the factory Miniplane spark plug boot. So I was like, alright, well, I'll go ahead and order the aftermarket NGK one, and hopefully it'll have more grip, so enough grip to where I won't have to use safety wire or anything. So bought one just like this, identical. And the thing is, when you take the old one off, you literally just, when you take the original one off, you just cut the wire here. And the new boot that they sell on Miniplane website, this exact one, it's the NGK one, but it has a self-tapping screw in it. And basically, you take the wire that you cut, you screw this onto there, and that's what holds this connection right here. And of course, you slip this thing on before you do that. This keeps it like watertight or something, I don't know. But anyways, that whole connection is relied upon that self-tapping screw screwing into the wire, the actual ignition wire itself. Just the other day, I went to go fly him and started noticing I let it idle and it start popping like bum 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 bum, like it was like something was hitting my kill switch intermittently. It wasn't a bogging down like a fuel related issue. It's like a real fast like cutout, like something's going on with the ignition. I knew immediately. So I checked it all out, wiggled everything. Couldn't get it to do it again. So I'm like, all right, well, I maybe need to fly this thing and run it out, because it had been a couple weeks since I've flown it. So I flew it, and about a minute into my flight, it started cutting out on me. So I'm like, all right, great. So I'm going to land and see what's up. So I landed, and I wiggled this around. Actually, I took this off the plug, wiggled it around, twisted a little bit, and before I knew it, this and this had already separated. I was holding one in one hand, one in the other, and so that's the whole problem. That self-tapping screw in there was not gripped onto this wire very good, so caused a loose connection from all the vibration and eventually separate them. That can leave you with an engine out if you're not careful with that. So stripped the wire back some more, screwed this back on, I think it's nice and secure. I hope. Feels good. Well, as tight as I could get it. So we'll see. Guess I'll fly high for the first few flights. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of complaints about this engine, besides the reed block and the spark plug thing. Other than that, it's been awesome. I replaced the gaskets a couple times now. Not because they really needed to, just for more like preventative maintenance. One thing I really don't look forward to doing is changing out this ignition coil. This ignition coil is going to be a pain in the butt to change out. Really don't look forward to doing it, because you literally have to take the engine off. It's got like 20 rivets in the back you got to drill out. You drill them out, then you got to take the whole starter assembly out all apart, take the starter pawls out, And then you can access this. Then once you get on, you gotta do it all. So it'd take like probably a couple days to do. So I ain't trying to do that anytime soon. But as long as it works, I'm good. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the top 80 engine. All right, so one other thing I wanted to show you guys was the throttle. It's a pretty basic throttle. I like it. I don't really have any complaints about it. You know, it slips on. One thing I've replaced on it is the Velcro strap here, which I bought from, I think, Ace Hardware. It's like the exact same one they sell you online. But anyways, it works good. Got my hour meter and my tachometer right there. Easy to read. But throttle's pretty nice. The only thing I wish was different about the throttle is I wish down here it had a little bit more of a secure, I don't know if you can see it, but right in here it's got this little like set screw you screw in, and that holds the cable tight against the carburetor. And I really wish it was a little bit more secure than that, but I got blue Loctite up in there so it shouldn't come out. And it's got the kill switch up top, which I have a couple times hit on accident. Not long enough to kill the engine, but I have bumped this a few times while flying and, you know, cut the engine out. But starts right up, no problems. Alright, so all in all, the Miniplane Paramotor's, it's been a great first paramotor for me. I wouldn't have wanted anything different. Now that I've been flying for a couple years now, I definitely would like to have more power, since I've only got the top 80 engine on it, which is pushing out, I think, roughly 15 horsepower. But it's been great, super reliable. Like I said, no engine outs. I've got 169 hours on it. Yeah, just only complaints really is can't really take this one apart too easily. It's a real pain in the butt. So like I drive a truck, I just throw it in the back of the truck and put a strap on it and it's good to go. But if I'm going on a vacation, then I have to, like I said, put plastic bags over the engine, trash bag over the harness so it all doesn't get wet, because I've taken this apart like in total maybe 2 times, and I'm not doing it again as long as I own it, because it's no fun. Messing with all this netting and these little side sticks and trying to figure this little bird's nest out down here. So other than that, it's a great paramotor, you know. It's good to get started with and super reliable. I do cross countries with this, no problem. You know, I am flying a 22-meter wing. I can't really go any smaller of a wing because I'm limited to power right now, but I think once I get a bigger motor, I'll finally be able to go down to like a 20 or 18-meter wing. So other than that, it's good. I like it. I'd recommend it, especially if you're a 160 to 190 pound pilot. It would be perfect for you. So yeah, it's overall a great, you know, paramotor, good customer service. All in all, I like it. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.